Say what you want about Kim Jong Un, but he looks like a white wine spritzer guy.
He looks like a guy who has a guardian.
He looks like a guy that sells sneakers in Houston. I think everyone wants the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's to bitches and get money. I mean,
I want to be able to smoke weed legally, right? That's what all men want. And I was like, could you imagine coming like a woman? Like, could you imagine? I would love to. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've never come that hard in my life. I think it's because they took my foreskin.
Okay.
You guys notice how Jehovah's Witnesses kind of wear the same outfit everywhere? You guys see them posted up at like public parks?
What do
do
Jehovah's Witnesses dress like?
There's gonna be a man in like a Costco suit, like a Costco slacking shirt.
Okay.
A man in a Costco slacking shirt, and then there's gonna be a woman in a very modest floral dress. And the woman's gonna be young and beautiful, and the man's gonna be kind of old and like dirty business looking.
Okay.
But I went to Mexico, and the Jehovah's Witnesses look the same there. And I said, God, you guys are just everywhere.
Uniform.
They're the same in Austin, in Tulsa, in LA, in Sacramento. Everywhere I've been that I've seen Jehovah's Witnesses, you can identify them just by the fit. The aesthetic, the vibe of Jehovah's Witnesses, unmistakable.
So in the group text earlier, you just texted no context. Cat calling modest women.
Cat calling modest women. Let them know I'm still looking. You're still catching my eye, mama. Little peek of the wrist gets me going.
You're hanging outside of your window down, slapping the outside door of your truck.
I'm riding like the devil looking at those ankles. I saw a group of modest women.
A shoe with laces, not buckles.
I saw a group of really modestly dressed women, and I thought it'd be funny to just like holler at my window like, hey, I see how modest y'all are looking. I see how modest y'all are looking. I see that. I thought that'd be so funny to shout at them.
Keeping it tight and pious.
Just women aren't safe. Women are. It's not my fault.
Well, yeah, okay,
well,
good.
I guess it's men's fault.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
Welcome
Women
to the
aren't
bad news.
safe. Welcome to the podcast with
Women
all
aren't
men.
safe, yeah.
What a rough start. What a rough start.
Because I was talking the other day about like falling asleep in public and how women have never been allowed to do that. You know what I mean? Because it's like guys can sleep anywhere. Like if you fall asleep on the bus, you'll wake up at the next stop. If a woman falls asleep on the bus, like her life could change.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess, yeah, it's true. You know, when I'm usually in public transportation, I'm worried about the smell. You know, I'm kind of hyper focused on that. You ever felt unsafe on a train? Like I'm gonna get hurt?
I've never felt safe on a train or a bus.
Really?
Very rarely am I like, oh, well, I just don't feel safe in public.
I've only ever once, and this was coming home from the comedy bar or to an Airbnb in Chicago. I was like, damn, dude, I'm gonna get mugged on this train right now. And then like a blind dude with like a stick and like the most dangerous unbehaved dog I've ever seen in my life sat like right by me, and the dog was just like misbehaving. It was like bucking, you know, and the dude who was gonna mug me saw that dog and was just like got off at that stop. And I'm like, shout out to the blind. You guys, honestly, for real, God gave me a blind angel.
Guy just took off his sunglasses and was like, this is just my bit, man. He's like, I'm so fucking scared of this train.
He's like, he gives me a dog and glasses, and he goes, what are you doing? You gotta have these. You can't be riding the CTA without this.
Man,
you told me about the dude on your way to class one day, Jimmy, on the train.
Yeah, I mean, there's on my way to class. Oh, threw their shit at the girl.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, dude. When in New York, people are the craziest, and there was this one girl that was going to. So I went to school in New York. It was Fordham. There's a Manhattan campus and a Bronx campus, and if you took the D train from the Bronx to Manhattan, it could definitely get fucked up. And yeah, some girl went on the train and a crazy homeless lady shat into her hand and threw it at her.
Ugh.
oh my God.
Solid shit.
I mean, solid enough to get across the train. You know, it was like a baseball.
But on impact, it was kind of liquid.
Yeah. They made its mark.
It was sludge.
Yeah, it was sludge.
I worked
It
at
was
a coffee shop in Sacramento where I kicked a homeless guy out, and then he shat on the porch in front of me, and then came back a few days later and shat on the wall. And I was like, "Yeah, dude, I get it. Poop's your revenge. Poop's your weapon. Poop's your weapon of choice." Understood.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. And it's funny because the cop saw and was like, "Yeah, what are we gonna do? Clean up this shit? I'm not gonna get involved." Cops are like, "Yeah, you want me to get involved in the shit situation? I think I'll just walk the other way on J Street, buddy."
They're like, you don't understand. My job is to stop criminals like who rob things or deal with drugs. Like this is past tense crime. He shat. Did he look at you when he did it? When he shat?
He's screaming at me. He's screaming.
Was
at
he
me.
maintaining eye contact?
During the porch shit, I barely saw what was going on. When he came back for his revenge to really dunk on
Was
my
the second
ass,
shit inside or outside?
second shit was outside.
Oh, thank God.
Well, both were outside.
Okay, good.
One
Well,
was like
good.
on the
I'm just
porch, and I had to get
checking.
involved. Actually, both I had to get involved. And I poured a bunch of hot water on it, just kind of let it go
Some
into the streets of
bleach.
Sacramento. I don't even know if I used bleach. I was a pretty bad employee.
Oh man.
If you've ever been to a place where I was working service industry, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You probably got sick because of me. I would when I worked at Boulding Creek Cafe, I wore exercise
That's like the
shorts
one
every day.
expectation is like, fine, the food didn't come out the way I wanted. The server forgot to ask no onions, but don't get me sick.
Yeah.
You're like no onions, extra cheese, and then they still get bile. Like,
I would show up to work in like exercise shorts and a dirty t-shirt, just reeking of alcohol. Just reeking of
Well,
alcohol.
that's normal.
Just like you could my pores were
Yes.
just like excreting alcohol smell, just sweating, drenched in sweat everywhere I went.
that is the nice thing of being an alcoholic in the summer in Texas is like you will fits because if you wake up like still reeking of vodka in like August at like 8 a.m. by like 11:30 in the morning, it's out.
Yeah.
But your clothes reek of liquor.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, that's it. That's pretty much the whole thing. And you're 100% right. It gets so hot, you sweat it all out, and you're like, wow, I could go for another round right now.
I can go right now, and then you do, and then you start drinking at noon.
The amount of times I woke up and just felt horrible and sick to my stomach and was like, oh, I'm just
Never
done.
again.
And then sweated out, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm good now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I literally just went to a walk to the coffee shop, and I'm good to go.
Oh.
I could crush something right now. In fact, I will to reward myself for feeling so good.
Oh, happy hours in 3 hours.
My favorite alcohol in the world is white wine spritzers.
God damn it, dude.
I love white wine spritzers. When I used to have a little show at my house, like a little house show, I used to get 2 pitchers, and I'd fill one with Sprite and one with white wine. So I called it the white wine spritzer bar.
That's what you understand. A spritzer is supposed to be like seltzer water.
Oh,
It's
no.
not Sprite.
Oh no, I thought it was.
You're having a
Sprite.
white wine spritzer.
Yeah, white wine spritzer. I love white wine and Sprite. It's so good. Gets me so loose and fun.
Jesus
Does
Christ.
different alcohol affect you differently?
Different. I mean, sure.
I think so. I know people say that's not real. But I think it's
I
real.
definitely tequila. It
Makes my
affects
clothes fall off.
corn and whiskey. Rain makes corn. Corn makes whiskey. Whiskey makes my girl feel a little frisky.
Yeah.
Believe that's a psalm.
I mean, so white wine spritzer is your drink. Jimmy, what's your drink? The
Dude,
go-to.
I drink like probably a 22-year-old college girl. I just love a rum and coke. Oh, and if it's coconut rum, even better.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, you're like, give me like a Bombay.
Bombay. Dude, I love a Bombay. I love a
It sounds like
Malibu.
you too. Give me a Bombay. Yo, give me a Bombay.
yeah. But you know, I also love red wine drunk. That's probably the best type of drunk I think there is.
Yeah, you're a sassy bitch.
I'm a sassy bitch.
Yeah,
I get
same.
real truth. It's like truth serum, red wine.
Dude.
Dude, I'm like, let me tell you what I think about you.
We don't need to waterboard him. Just get a table of Malbec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch the
Yeah.
video you pulled up? I
Well,
love this.
let's just introduce ourselves, guys.
okay, I'm
This is
sorry.
the Bad News Podcast, everybody. Thanks for hanging out again. I'm Sam Castillo.
JT Kelly.
And what's up, Jimmy?
You guys, this is not a show if accepting anything, but what we're called. We talk about bad news. We try to make you laugh, and let's get into it. Let's get into the doc.
Let's
Okay,
get
let's see.
into the
First
doc.
thing, do you want to see this TikTok or the Putin one?
Yeah, let's go to the first video. There we hear. Speaking of just like drinks, I was trying to ask what you guys like to drink For me, it just would be like a middle tier vodka on rocks with a squirt of lime juice was my drink.
Okay.
You know,
Very efficient. Keto.
Dos Osos, perhaps. Isn't that a vodka?
is
The new Bert and Tom
that's-
vodka.
yeah, that's worth relapsing for.
Yeah.
I take my shirt off and go, I'm the machinist.
Yeah.
When I
That's
met my
funny.
wife, I said that I got branded on my ass one time in high school, and then I sanitized it with Paba vodka. And she's like, "What's Paba vodka?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the plastic bottle vodka." And she's like, "Vodka comes in plastic?" And I was like, "Oh my god, you grew up so rich.
Oh my God.
That's insane." Yeah, I thought all vodka came in plastic. I didn't know plastic wasn't an option.
She's like, I just thought it came in metal flasks. My family is a bunch of drunks. I didn't even know it came in bottles.
Say what you want about Kim Jong Un, but he looks like a white wine spritzer guy. I guarantee he would love my drink.
I mean, he looks like just like a Sprite guy. Haircut.
Seems like a guy that has candy in his pockets.
He looks like a guy who has a guardian. He looks like he doesn't look like he's allowed to sign legal documents. That haircut,
He looks like a guy that sells sneakers in Houston.
I mean, it's the most.
That's funny.
Yeah. I say what you will. People like to mock like U.S. presidents for looking dumb because like George W. Bush would stutter, or Biden falls asleep while standing awake, or falls upstairs. He falls upstairs, but like Kim Jong Un looks like he was on, like his parents kept him on a leash until he was 19.
Say what you want about North Korea, but I think we could get the internet if we just showed him SoundCloud rap. If he rocked out to some SoundCloud rap from like 2015, he'd be like, "Oh, we're bringing this here. This is sick. I'm about this right here."
His rap name is Young Kimchi.
Yum Kimchi, old guard.
A lot of his rap is just about how he like got Supreme shirts waiting in line,
Look at Putin. Look at the way that he looks at Kim Jong Un. He's just like, he kind of I don't want to call him gay, but he has like this, like, you're disgusting.
Well, Putin is like,
He's like a sassy gay man.
Famously, Jimmy doesn't want to call Putin gay.
Yeah.
I don't want to call Putin gay.
Dude, he'll fucking murder me.
But he does look gay here, to be clear.
Especially with that glass in his hand.
Did you guys watch any of the Tucker Carlson Putin interview?
Yeah, I
the
liked it.
whole time Putin is looking at Tucker and just is amused. He's like, because I mean, the whole time Putin's looking at Tucker being like, you were the face of Fox News.
Yeah.
You were the voice box that proliferated the war on terror.
Yeah.
You were the voice that like really divided race during like the Black Lives Matter riots. You were the voice that like has made America afraid of China and Russia. And here you are on my couch, afraid that I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
It's the amusement whenever a cat catches a mouse and plays with it before it kills it. That's what Putin's eyes look like. I remember going to my cousin's house and they got this cat, and the cat had caught a bat, and we were watching it. And eventually we had to grab the cat and set the bat free because the cat was holding the bat's wings down like this, and he would do this. He would go like this, and the bat would panic, go, ha, ha, and like try to fly away, and the cat would go, and then the bat would be like, ah, ah, and then the bat would go, and then let him go, and then go. It shook its head like a menace. This cat's name was Tuna. He had one fang. He also, the previous owners declawed his front paws, so he was just a Bowser. He was like this 40-pound cat who was torturing. He only had his back claws and only one fang.
Nice.
And he had this bat. And eventually my Uncle Bruce had to be like, Tuna, Tuna, and then picked up the cat and let the bat go. He's like, he just does this every day.
Oh my God.
And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, he killed a possum yesterday. The cat killed a possum. He's a freak. That's the way Putin looks at people, because he's like, yeah, I've already killed 5 people this month.
Yeah. I loved that interview because, like, if it was like a good reporter, we said this before, if it was a good reporter, it'd be just an incredible, like, wow. Like, even when Barbara Walters talked to Osama bin Laden, that was good, right? Like, this was just, it was like an idiot circus. I loved it. I mean, I'm not like a Putin fan, right? But the guy's a fucking genius. The guy's like a very, very well-read, smart man. politician, incredible guy goes from like, you know, fucking deep state Russia to running fucking Russia.
He wasn't a field operative at the KGB. He was a desk guy
Yeah.
because he had he was lower middle class and ascended into the KGB as a desk guy because of his intellect.
Yeah.
That was like, people have this idea that he was like this covert spy Bond type figure. No, he was just behind a computer.
Yeah. Smart guy. And the way exactly what you're saying, looking at it like, you fucking buffoon. You fucking buffoon. And when Tucker tries to give pushback, especially in the first like 45 minutes when Putin's trying to genuinely explain to this fucking American educated guy the history of Russia, and he keeps trying to give pushback, and Putin's like, dude, you literally need to listen right now. Like, you need to listen to me for a second.
You hit the nail on the head. You called Tucker educated, but you called Putin smart, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
That is the actual difference, because Tucker went to like he went to like, I believe he went to Buckley. You know, he's like the descendant of the Swanson family. Well-educated guy. Went to an Ivy League college. Educated. Putin's actually smart. That's the difference between educated and smart. Like, that's someone, Putin is someone who ascended the ranks during the Cold War when breadlines were happening, found himself a cush-ass job in a desk, and then rose to power during a power vacuum after Boris Yeltsin famously destroyed the economy of Russia, and then just never left. This is just a fun video, though. This is something I thought about on my drive here, and I just like, it's just like the vibe of like when you meet your girl's parents, you know?
Yeah.
And the underlings drink, and then they just don't want to drink, and you can see Putin pretend to sip.
Yeah. I like how like the setup looks like the level of like high school prom.
It does. If you can just go back and then pause it.
Oh, you guys want to watch Putin wrestle with the Russian judo team?
Yeah, sure, we can do that. But just like, look at this. The zoom out, first of all, everything about this. Just the tablecloth, it looks like a wedding in 2002. It's like a very wealthy gilded prom.
I like
know?
how they're all wearing suits and one guy's wearing an army costume and he's like, damn it. I thought we'd be wearing our costumes here. I didn't know this was like a suit thing. I want to get one of those fucking like Kim Jong Un, Mao Zedong suits, one of those Chinese like dignitary suits, you know what I'm talking about?
With a collar.
Yeah, like it's called the Mandarin collar and has like the buttons and the 4 pockets. And my wife was like, absolutely not. She was like, you do not need to make the vibes any more unique. All right? You got enough unique vibes as is. You don't need to add some spice to this. All right,
My family's from Abilene.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
We're not.
that would go hard though, wouldn't it?
I think that goes so, especially if I wore it to like fancy stuff and I had it custom made.
Dude, it would go hard as hell.
Yeah. Thank you, Jimmy. Jimmy's a bad dude. Jimmy's a bad
if,
fucking dude.
If you got a Mandarin suit and some white loafers.
I think they're called Zhang suits. Like
you have to like go
ZHANG.
for it. You have to buy a nice one.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
talking
want to
like
get like the same
$1,000.
color Gucci shoes. I'd want to get it like custom fit, made by a tailor who don't speak a lick of English.
Oh, 'cause
You know what I mean?
that's-
We're talking through Google Translate, you know?
Yeah, that's the truth. The Chinese, they love Gucci.
Oh yeah.
They love Gucci.
Hey baby, every race loves Gucci. I don't know a race of people that don't love Gucci.
That's so true.
yeah.
Gucci talks.
Gucci talks.
Dude, if you wore that to Easter,
Yeah.
with your conservative Christian your brother's a priest, wearing a Mandarin suit to Easter, that would be so funny.
That
Can you
is
tell us?
excellent flex.
Can you tell us at all about your Easter experience?
Going to my my in-laws Easter. So my mother-in-law is like probably the most generous person I've ever met. Like I've never gone to her house without her giving us some sort of gift. Like it's insane. Like she's given us so much gifts. We've literally had to say like, please stop giving it. She gets us like pasta makers and stuff like that. Like really nice gifts.
Well, you guys are a young couple.
Young
She's trying to
couple.
set you up.
She is, and very, very generous. So kind. For her Easter, she has 2 kids in her 30s, both with husbands in their 30s, or late 20s, early 30s. She does an Easter egg hunt for us, but we're adults. So she puts money inside the eggs and then hides 100 eggs with money in it. We cleared $300 leaving Easter.
She hides a band around the house.
Yeah, and then she has a golden egg with $100 bill in it, and she hides that in like the hardest hunting spot. And it's like when I was telling my family, I was like, yeah, we're doing an Easter egg hunt. And they're like, oh, who has kids? And I was like, it's for adults. It's for adults, and it's filled with money. And my dad was like, I would do anything to go to that Easter. He was like, my dad, a fucking 70-year-old guy, was like, you get me an invite to that Easter. I'll do anything to get to that Easter.
That made my stomach drop because I was hoping your dad would be like, "Oh, JT, you gotta like stick up for yourself and draw a line. You can't be doing that."
I wore a bunny suit. I wore a bunny suit. I loved it. I was scampering around. Running on all fours, diving into bushes.
Easter Sunday, I wake up to a text from him going, in a bunny rabbit costume.
That's so funny.
I was excited to get it on. I love festivities.
Your dad's like, JT, you can't be doing that.
Yeah.
You're a husband. You're a man of a house now. You can't go playing for Easter eggs. Instead, your dad's like, is there open invite? Or is it like, do you need to like come?
I'll dress as a bunny. Damn. $300. $300. I'd be anything.
I'll put a tail plug in my ass. I already have a fox one. Chirp, chirp.
Do you remember when Carl's Jr. used to have commercials of like Paris Hilton on like washing a car and like underwear and stuff like that?
The slutty.
Yeah, and they were
Carl's
like doing
Jr.
like Carl's Jr. It's horny food or whatever. So whenever those commercials would get popular, my dad would always be like, "We're boycotting Carl's Jr. We're boycotting Carl's Jr.
We're gonna get the pious, modest burger."
And I swear to God, I'm not even exaggerating right now. The only time we ate Carl's Jr. growing up is when my dad couldn't stop thinking about the boycott, and we'd go to Carl's Jr. So like my dad would be like, "That's filth. That's perverted. We don't want that on TV." And then like 3 days in, he'd be like, "Man, I love those onion rings. You guys want to go get a bacon Western burger?" And it was nuts. It was the only time we had Carl's Jr. when my dad just thought about it. Oh, dude, I saw this video this morning. Have you seen this yet?
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm glad we're having a lighter episode because I feel like the couple episodes we've done lately are a little heavy.
A little heavy.
Yeah.
Let's go back to some Christian content here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about the stuff that still gets us into heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, none of that Carl's Jr. Look at this. They're making these solve puzzles.
They're making me pull an actual trolley lever to decide which trolley kills actual humans decide if I'm human or robot to watch a YouTube.
Set this video up for me.
So, where's this? Thailand? Yeah, Thailand. I don't know what's going on in Thailand. I gotta be honest, right? I know you're like, JT, you seem like a Thailand expert.
You seem like an Asian fetishist.
I really only know about their women and their food. So I have no idea what's going on in this country, right? But I saw this mini video this morning, and I've never wanted to be a policeman more. I used to be vegan, too. Roll tape. Let's just watch it. It's like 2 minutes long, and it's so... We don't even have to watch the full 2 minutes. The first, like, minute is where you get the gist of it right there.
Who's in control right now, you or the monkeys?
We are trying to control them, even if
So
they're trying
monkey
to control
gangs
us.
take over the city is the headline. And
more
the
aggressive,
footage
and they
is
have
just
to get-
cops shooting monkeys with slingshots that the government gave them. And the government gave them slingshots made of wood. And it's like, wait, do you guys not have crime there? Monkeys are what took over your city? What a fun country. I want to move to that country where
like-
monkeys run
it's
things
like-
and they have dogs for mayor.
It's like the opening of The Departed. There's this one monkey. This one monkey is like, he's like, back in the day, we monkeys had nothing. all we had was the church. The church was saying we had each other. But in one generation, the monkeys had the White House. And that's what the Thai don't understand. You can't just ask for it. You gotta take it.
Oh, man. I mean, I'm not like, America's...
Oh, you're pulling it up. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Dude,
not
I feel like it'll soon go.
If we had a monkey problem in America, we'd kill those fuckers in a second. Like, if they were like, oh, America, we got a monkey problem, we wouldn't be playing the slingshot game.
If we
These
had a-
monkeys would be dead. Right?
I feel okay. What would the American response to this be? Yeah, we'd wipe them out like the buffalo weren't even harming anybody, and we'd
No,
wipe them out.
We would go absolutely evil on this.
Dude, I mean, what about pigs, hogs? They're really taking over
And
down
we
south.
get in helicopters and shoot them from the sky with guns.
But there's still an issue.
Oh, you know what? You make a good point, man.
That's so
It's
true.
like
have the
we
same
do
problems
that,
as
and they're
Thailand.
still coming around.
They're still
so
coming around.
true.
Bro,
dude.
they're going all the way up to the Northeast now.
Yep.
In
Oh,
Jersey. They got to Jersey.
Feral pigs got there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's crazy. I was so wrong, Jimmy. You
Dude.
just dunked on my ass. Thank you.
Look at
Really gave
this.
me perspective.
Look at this. This is
Speaking of
the
invasive species,
this is the emu war of Australia, where Australia literally started fighting emus and lost and had to like retreat.
Man, imagine coming back from World War I, all fucking fucked up, and they say, "Hey, man, could you just go fight those birds for us?" And then you lose, and it's like, "Dang, dude, maybe war's not worth
go
it."
down a little bit. Go down a little bit. Right. There you go. Look, Walguland. That's a place. Look at this ridiculous ass country. Yeah, so we're losing the battle to emus in Walguland. I mean, what a dumb race of people. Australians.
Yeah, Australians are
Australian
just
whites. Sorry.
Yeah, Australian whites. We love the, what do we call them? Aboriginals?
Indigenous.
We
Indigenous.
respect them.
We respect them.
Aborigines? I don't know. This dude looks like a fucking emu.
It's Irish, huh?
Yeah.
George Pierce. Oh, he's English.
Australian people are just the worst British people all gathered into one place.
No, dude, some Aussies are fucking fun,
Wait,
bro.
Oh, sure.
Well, you know, my lady's an Aussie, but
Yeah, I was
you
about
go-
to say. I was about to say. I'm so sorry. I disrespected.
I think-
as soon as it came out of my mouth, because I always think that she's from Scotland, but y'all
Dude,
met in
we
Scotland.
met
met
in
in Scotland.
Scotland.
She's all over the place with her
I
accent
know.
too, because she's got the fucking British parents. But yeah, dude, I mean, some of the Aussies are fucking fun, and they're just like they don't care about anything. They're a lot like Texans in that way.
Yeah.
You've been, right?
No, not yet.
Ooh.
The Australians I think about are just the Australians that are in from Australia at music festivals. That's who I entirely think Australians are. Just people coked out of their mind, fighting, screaming,
Looking
getting
for some
drunk.
cake.
Yeah. So
Looking
like,
for cake.
I mean, that is what they are. Wait, that's a bad thing?
Ice skating on, looking for some cake. Sorry, Mrs. Clifford.
Yes, of course. But yeah, could you imagine losing to the? I don't think you Texans would ever lose to emus, but maybe
Fuck no.
maybe
Brother,
a
we're losing to
pussy state
hogs.
like
You just
Delaware.
pointed that out.
Yeah, we're losing to hogs.
Man.
Yeah, but that's a bird. I feel like that's more prideful.
Yeah.
Because they're gayer.
It's a flightless bird. Ain't no flightless bird gonna make me look. No, ain't no flightless bird gonna fuck my wife.
Man, I bet I would love to hear Australia come and say, "Hey, Texans, we'll give a contract to one of you guys to come and take care of our emu problem." We know the boys that would stand up. We know the boys that would hear that call.
Yeah. You go into just how Roosevelt would go into those bars in San Antonio and say, "Who needs to go rough riding down in Cuba way?"
Well, they banned guns, so no one has guns in Australia other than like
so
farmers.
True.
Yeah.
So that's why they really can't do that either.
They have pellet guns to kill cats.
In
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah. It's like a weird thing that's good there because there's feral cats that are destroying the like birds. And so
Weird.
like old farmers get paid to kill cats, which just sounds like the saddest, craziest thing in the world.
Cat hunter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I kill house cats. The same type of cat that's around your house and you love. I kill those, but out in nature.
I name every single one of them before I do it.
Oh, I watched a video in the early 2000s of a guy that taxidermied the cats that he killed in Australia.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, what are you supposed to do with them?
I saw a TikTok where a woman taxidermied her cat and just leaves it in the living room,
Oh, do that.
and the new cat plays with it.
Ah.
It's creepy
That's
as
sad.
fuck.
I mean, there's those TikToks of those guys in Puerto Rico who get taxidermied.
Yeah, that's so funny though.
Where they'll be like, yeah.
But
They're sitting
they're
at a
like
table
getting
playing cards.
taxidermied in the strip club. They're like they're literally getting a fucking lap dance and just forever.
Yeah, they're literally like slamming a domino down. Oh, fuck. Yep. So let's go down to this one where I hear where it says Antifa gang, this first article. Lower. Sorry. Yeah. That one right there. Perfect. Yeah, speaking of gangs, one of the things I wanted to ask you guys is, do you guys consider Antifa, the anti-fascist movement, a gang?
No.
No? How do you feel? Do you know? Do you have an opinion?
I feel like they were when didn't they shut down a whole city block in Portland?
So that was like
Or
its
Seattle?
own group, I believe, and that was the Capitol Hill Occupied movement. It was like a different group of anarchists. Because I don't think the anti-fascists, the Antifa, are necessarily anarchists. I think they want like a socialist government. They want a government. They're not, so therefore they're not anarchists.
Yeah.
Well, so Antifa is just a broad term. That's why it's like,
Oh, really?
is Antifa a gang? It's like, I don't know. No, I'm sure there are gangs within Antifa, but Antifa is an umbrella term that, I think it's weird that they even call it Antifa because that's like, an Italian reference to being anti-fascist. But it's like, and it would be hard to call Antifa a gang because there's no organization within it. You know what I mean? It there's no like, there's no uniting organization between different Antifa organizations. You know what I mean? You could say it's like, oh, it's an ideology that's caused a bunch of like, anarcho-syndicalist fucking splinter cells or whatever, and that's an argument to be made there.
Syndicalist.
Isn't anarcho-syndicalism when
No, we're not arguing. I just had never heard that word.
Okay, I thought
Me either.
anarcho-syndicalism, well, I could be way wrong here. I don't know. I've only heard about it. I've never been like, I want to learn about anarcho-syndicalism. I'm pretty sure it's when you have like, a bunch of different, uh, you could call them like, committees or Soviets or whatever you want to call them that communicate with each other in like an organizational way. The symbol, okay. Syndicalist, like syndicalism. I don't really
Bro,
know
we're
what it
not
is.
even getting it right.
That's fine. I don't really know what I'm talking about.
No, we're dudes who talk about emus beating humans in wars.
Here we go.
Syndicalism. Damn.
Yeah, industrial unionism or syndicalism as a method for workers in capitalist society to gain control. So it's like a series of like unions or Soviets or whatever you want to call it that are supposed to be able to take state power. That's the goal of those types of anarchists. And those are typically the people that you see in like big Antifa groups. Either that or communist or like, have you guys ever seen that movie Battle for Seattle?
No.
So like it's about the World Trade conference in Seattle in '99.
Right.
Now the thing that's really interesting is it documented by this anarchist group out of Eugene, and the anarchist had unity not only with the communist but also like what we would now consider more far right libertarians that just understood this is not only bad for our city, this is bad for the world. These people are a power structure, and it's interesting how like at a certain point in history, the more like libertarian you people who are just people that, for the most part, every libertarian is just a guy that's like, I fucking hate the government. I fucking just want freedom for people. It kind of shifted into this whole like rights for people under the same capitalist system that we have now. There's no like, hey, I want to like oppose this system. It's more like I want to make sure I have my own individual freedoms. And like the Battle for Seattle it's a documentary you can watch on YouTube. Really gave me perspective on like different kind of political ideologies. I think everyone wants the same thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's to fuck bitches and get money. I mean,
Yeah.
that's...
I want to be able to smoke weed legally, right? That's what all men want. Do you think Antifa's a gang?
I don't. I mean, there might be certain chapters of it that are.
Yeah.
That USA Today article, what that is about is a couple years ago on a beach in California, some like Antifa people were protesting the perceived rise of fascism in America after the election, whenever Biden was declared the winner and people protested on January 6th. A lot of West Coast Antifa groups saw that Trump was making a run for the government as a fascist. So they started protesting fascism in America, and a bunch of Proud Boys and other groups like Oath Keepers started trolling and going to these anti-fascist protests to basically just upset them, and it led to a brawl where like two specific oh man, I wish I had the article pulled up. Two men involved in the anti-fascist movement, one of them named White and one of them named God, I can't remember his other name. I'm so sorry.
Was it Lightfoot?
Lightfoot.
Yeah.
That's correct.
I remember this.
Yeah, they're just now going to trial for this because they were the only ones arrested by the cops. All of the guys on the far right movement, the various movements, the Oath Keepers, the Boogaloo Boys, the Proud Boys, all those different groups were free to go after this public brawl, but just two anti-fascist members were actually taken to trial. And it's this strange thing where it's a California prosecutor that's trying them, and it's showing you that like while California policy is very left leaning, people see California as a left leaning place. It's left only in name, and they do not want these left leaning groups like Antifa to create an occupied zone like there was in Seattle, where leftists took over blocks of the city and made them anarchist autonomous zones. California just does not want to have
The
that.
only reason we have gun control in the California is because Reagan enacted gun control after the Black Panthers took the step of the Capitol with guns.
That's
After
correct.
that, we immediately started. Reagan ran on a platform of we're going to clean up Berkeley and we're going to get the state back to work, right? And so his whole thing from taking guns from our state, I'm from California, his whole thing was to try to fight, far left movements. So like, it's still framed as like this liberal thing, and it's like, well, hang on, gun control in California specifically comes from disarming anti-fascist movements, right? And I think you can easily say here, you don't say, hey, fascism is a gang, right? But we can identify different fascist groups that are gangs. I think that's fair to say with anti-fascists, right? Antifa isn't a gang, but there are gangs within the Antifa umbrella, just like we see here. You mentioned the Boogaloo Boys, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys. Fascism isn't a gang, but those are fascist groups. I think all of those which operate as gangs, right?
And the reason why these prosecutors want to designate it a gang is because it can go under like they can just give them lengthier sentences.
Mm-hmm.
If you classify something as terrorism or you classify it as organized crime, which is what gangs are, you're able to actually give them longer sentences and make them go away, and you're able to stop political movements that are free speech.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether we like it or not, if you are one of those racist groups like the Oath Keepers, or if you're one of the anti-fascist groups that if you hate socialism, they're socialists, I'm apolitical, but like if you look at like both these groups, as long as they're not committing an actual violent crime or any crime in general, they're allowed to have free speech. I mean,
100%.
the Supreme Court allowed for the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazi parties to protest in Jewish areas in Skokie, Illinois in the 1960s because that is protected in free speech. So these two groups existing, right and left, far right, far left, protesting is totally fine. It's just these prosecutors want to silence leftist speech, which is why they're casting them as organized crime members.
And like most of the laws that really are governing things like gangs or organized crimes, I mean, they're designed to politically oppress people, far right and far left. Like they are entirely at their core made to try to take any type of subversion. And like you look at the FBI's biggest projects, it's like shit like COINTELPRO, and it's shit like when they invaded and dismantled the KKK. Like they are actively trying to dismantle political movements within the U.S. that they consider a domestic threat, right? Even looking at the kidnapping of that governor of Michigan or whatever, that was the FBI doing that, invading spaces that they thought have a chance of taking any type of mass movement potential, and then trying to crush them at their core. Whether you think that's good or bad is another thing, but that's what these laws are for, is to, completely delete any potential of political subversion.
I hope if people are watching the show right now and they don't know exactly what we're talking about, they're just hanging on and understanding that, like, we do try to be funny, but we do try to talk about, like, interesting issues, because while this is, like, people are going to naturally, if it's Antifa involved, they're going to look at a story like this where it's like, Antifa tried as gang members. The real headline here is California prosecutors are attempting to dismantle free speech in the state of California. If you are a far-right libertarian and not associated with any of the fascist groups, if you're just a Republican, a neocon, or a center-left Democrat, this story should worry you.
100%.
Because what it means is that the government in California is trying to stop all political speech, period. It's all one party over there, Republican, Democrat. It's the universal party in power, and whatever your opinion is will be squashed.
Man, my dad was a conservative my whole life, and he just loved religious freedoms and individual freedoms and stuff like that. He never once thought, hey, we should fucking make sure we try to crush all other political movements that, might threaten political hegemony in the United States. I don't know. I don't know what's right or what's wrong. All I know, all guys just want to smoke weed legally. At our core, every man is just saying, I don't know why the government won't let me smoke weed in public schools, in front of kids. Why won't the government let me walk into a high school, smoke weed in front of everyone, and then sell weed to kids?
Look,
why are they trying to crush my political ideology?
I'm here to just pick up my sister's fucking kid.
Yeah.
Why can't I blow trees?
I should be able to smoke weed inside this school. My taxes pay for it. All right? One time I was in Berkeley and this homeless guy said, "Hey man, do you have $5? I want to buy some weed, take up this ticket that I got for smoking weed in public, roll it up and blow it up right in front of the cop." And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna give you money for that." It was like the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I was like,
Damn.
what the fuck ass thing are you doing there?
Damn,
But
dude, you're such a fucking narc.
yeah, I don't give a shit.
You're such a fed. It's
Yeah.
kind of gross.
100%, dude. I'm like, oh, you want me to get involved in your weird petty crime? No, thank you, sir. I own a truck now. I have too much to lose. Okay? I have a car that's from the last 10 years, 2012, baby.
I drive a certified pre-owned Tacoma.
Yeah.
So
I would give anything to keep this life I have, buddy. No, I'm not gonna help you smoke weed in front of a cop. All right? No way. No way. Back when I used to have warrants, I wouldn't even jaywalk because I thought, like, man, I would hate to get caught jaywalking and be like, yeah, dude, now you gotta spend a night in prison because you fucking have warrants out.
Yeah, that would suck.
Man. I remember I'd always tell people, like, you're living like you don't have warrants, man. Trying to jaywalk, fucking speed. No way.
you're gonna say something, Jimmy?
Dude, I was driving Uber yesterday and I had this crazy woman get in, and the first thing she said to me, she goes, "Listen, I don't know if you're left wing, if you're right wing, it's the same fucking bird."
Good for her. She's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, man. What time of day was that?
Probably 3 in the afternoon.
Okay, yeah. So she's on one.
Yeah.
I love that.
She just got out of work.
She just saw someone on TikTok that lit her ass up.
Yeah.
Really, what that is she's like, it's 3 o'clock on a Friday. I just got my ass fucked for 40 hours a week at this job. I'm about to begin my fucking weekend. And just so you know, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all bullshit. And I'm about to go home and watch, I don't know, some fucking anime on Netflix or how old
On
is she?
Crunchyroll. She was like 45 years old.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably like watch old Sex in the City reruns.
Dude, it all comes back to Sex in the City with us.
Yeah.
Always.
I've never
dude.
seen Sex in the City.
Me neither.
We should have a watch party.
We
Oh, I
need
would
to have a
love
watch party.
For the
of Sex and
Patreon.
City. Patreon, Sex in the City episodes, $200. We're all fucking naked. I gotta get those horny guys from Instagram on our Patreon.
There you go.
Hey, horny guys on Instagram, Patreon, $200. I'll fuck Sam. I'm fucking Sam right in the ass, baby. $200.
I'm gonna need a little more money than that.
Well, if there's 10 of them and they go for a whole year, 1 year commitment.
$2,000
For a whole year?
No.
What's your price?
$2,500.
It's funny when I was little, like, you know how you're in like junior high or high school and it's like, would you suck a dick for $1 million? And then like around college age, you start to think like 50,000. You start to think you're not even playing with your friends, you just gotta sitting alone with no money or food, being like $150. I don't know.
And the next time you get in an Uber at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you go, 25,000. And Jimmy goes, "So what was that?" You go, "I'd suck a penis." Just so you know, it's all the same. It's all the same penis.
Yeah.
Left wing, right nut, left nut. It's all the same sack.
They're gonna come.
What are we doing time wise?
We're at 50 minutes.
Okay. All right. One more thing and get us out of here.
Okay.
Was there something you really want to talk about right now?
I don't know. I guess I kind of want to wrap up our thoughts on Antifa. Is that too silly?
No. Go ahead.
My opinion, you know, obviously, if this is an edgy take, I don't like fascism, right? I think fascism's bad.
Well,
And so, like, when you say Antifa, it's like one of those things that's like saying, like, support our troops. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a great point.
It's something to where it's like, I couldn't ever say, like, no, I'm not anti-fascist. Of course I'm anti-fascist, of course. But then when you see Antifa and all of its representations in media and, like, you know, even things I did in my 20s, I'm like, oh, I don't like that at all, right? I don't think we should, you know, shut down small businesses because of something mean they said on Facebook. How is that fighting fascism, right? I don't know. And maybe I don't know how to fight fascism, and maybe it's too late. Maybe we're already living in, like, the, you know, the beginnings of fascism in the United States. I talked to a guy the other day that said, I don't know how we're going to save this democracy. And I was like, what fucking democracy are you talking about?
Yeah.
And if this democracy is always one fucking election away from being fascism, why do you want to fucking save it? Why is this good? Like, if we were always 2 election cycles away from being, you know, under a fascistic rulership, what are we doing here? Why is this worth fucking voting and dying for? I don't understand it.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah.
Can't get me political anymore, man. You can't, no one could make me vote or march. You know what I mean? I just want to fucking chill. There's no winning. There's no winning.
We're political people, but we're not
Sure.
politically active people.
I love reading about politics.
I'm a sexual person, but
Oh.
I'm not sexually active.
I would say the opposite. Very sexually active. It's just emotional for me. I'm not sexual at all.
Wow. Dude, he's just a machine.
I'm just a machine, man.
He just plugs and plays.
I'm
dude.
pretty much my chick's Hitachi wand.
You didn't make yourself a dildo. You made yourself a vibrator. Isn't that interesting?
I always say I get that shaky leg like I'm an injured dog, hit it on my side, you know? I was talking to that comedian last night.
They call me the kickstand because it was on my side.
You know how you're, you guys circumcised, right? Both of you all
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
circumcised?
circed up.
So apparently your foreskin has nerves in it that also make coming feel good.
Mm.
And I was talking to a comedian and he was like, oh, do you think it's like how women come? And I was like, could you imagine coming like a woman? Like, could you imagine? I would love that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I've never come that hard in my life. I think it's because they took my foreskin. I want to have a fucking leg shaking orgasm to where like I can't breathe and say like, oh my God, oh my God. You know what I mean? But I don't. I just blast
Toe curling nut.
Yeah, I want to have a joke. Every time I nut, it's like this. You know, that's it. That's as much as God will give me because we took our foreskin off for him.
Mm-hmm. All for God.
You guys ever had fucking toe curlers? Oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
sweating.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I've come as hard as a woman. I feel like I have.
Are you
I feel
serious?
like I've gotten there. Yeah.
I've had a lady
Jimmy
nut
with the
before.
pussy.
Yeah.
I've had a lady nut.
You had a lady nut? You've had a leg shaker?
Well, I've had one of those where you go, ugh, like you, ugh.
Yeah.
You get a good shiver down the spine, the whole body spine, where you go, ugh.
Sure, like that's just a good feeling though. But have you ever like you've seen a woman come to where
I
it's like
actually-
they can't stop screaming? You know what I mean? To where it's like they're
That's performative.
nah. Sometimes for sure.
But I've
Both
had,
of us. Both of us. Both of us. Both of us. No. Sometimes. Not all the time.
once, just once.
Maybe one time.
This is two men who need this. I've had a calf cramp from a nut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, that really took it out of you. That took it out of you, huh?
sucked the soul out of me, dude.
I bet. I guess I just want to come harder. So I come. I'm ready
You're like
to
now
come harder.
sharks.
Sharks. What you get to watch me blast in an absolute leg shaker.
Do you think that the belief that women come harder is just because they don't come as often, so when they do, they're surprised and it adds to it?
Women come way more than men. They're capable.
No.
of coming more
Sure.
than men.
But the stereotype is I would feel like most young men, especially, don't know how to make a woman come,
yeah,
I would say
a
it's
teenage-
30 young men. I'm 30.
and a lot of women don't masturbate.
Really?
I don't believe that.
I
at
don't
all.
believe that.
I read an article, a study the other day that said, not an article, it was a TikTok, but it said it was like 40.
Article, study, TikTok.
was like-
I read an article. I read a
Yeah, it was
study.
a study, TikTok.
Okay, yeah, TikTok.
But it was like 40% of women say they don't masturbate.
That's so crazy.
Really?
Wow. I believe women. I believe all women.
Why is
But I
Do
don't-
512 coming up when you're searching "Do women masturbate" in the URL? That's crazy.
More than half of American women, 18 to 49, masturbate once every 3 months. That's what I'm saying, dude.
Oh my God.
Whoa. I jerk off like once a week.
Do girls masturbate as much as boys do? Are
that's
the
more than
questions.
3
Man,
months.
horny people ask these questions. Horny people asking these questions on Quora. Do you guys remember Yahoo Answers?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the glory days of the internet. Oh my! Early Yahoo Answers, back when like people were totally not into the internet, and we'd get on there for genuine questions, and then people that were just like internet rotten would get on there and answer them. I almost said delicious. What's wrong with me? I almost said it was delicious. Ugh! Shoot me in the fucking head if I ever describe something not food as delicious.
Brown
Put
bag.
me out, dude. Fucking put my out of my old yeller my ass if I ever describe a situation as delicious.
Yeah. A 70-year-old woman that still does.
Good for her, man. See,
That's
that's what I want everybody to be jerking off, you know?
Blakely Salam.
Fucking and jerking off.
Remember when we interviewed an Antifa? That episode's gonna come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we interviewed an Antifa. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's good.
I'm excited for that one to come out.
We're 15 episodes in, guys. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
We don't know where this one will fall, but We made 15 episodes.
That's for God to decide.
Well,
AKA
yeah.
Jimmy and Sam.
Cool, man. Oh, I think this was an interesting episode. I feel like it was kind of all over the place. I hope it was fun for you guys. I hope like we covered one news story that I think is interesting, which is an attack on free speech. These things get politicized, but what it boils down to is like the powers that be are trying to take our ability to speak freely.
I don't want Antifa blocking traffic on my way to work, and I don't want Nazis protesting my library. But I mean, at the end of the day,
They have the right.
they have the fucking right
They
to.
have the right.
And I mean, I'm not gonna say I would fucking fight and die for their right. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Hey.
not going up to bat for nobody these days, baby.
No one served here.
No, sir, man. I didn't fucking swear an oath to the Constitution. I swore an oath to my wife. That's the only oath I fucking swore in my life, baby.
I don't know if you've even met a veteran, but just meeting my brother's friends, I'll be like, I'll say thank you for your service because I know it upsets them.
So fun.
They get so angry when, at least the
I didn't do it for you.
modern veterans, if you say thank you for your service, it's like this edgelord, like cool, I'm too cool thing where they go, I didn't do it for you. I did it to get a Ford Raptor. I'm like, okay, cool, man.
Hey, I'm not actually thankful, so we're even.
Hey, guess what? I was lying.
I ain't thought about what you did till right now when you're in front of me, bro.
I also am not really thanking you.
yeah, I thank my mailman more genuinely than this, bro. He does something for me directly. I see him all the time. I've never seen you before right now.
You know who I'm actually thankful for? The Chick-fil-A person who says my pleasure. That's who I'm actually thankful for.
That's who's helping America in my eyes. That's who's helping America in my community, baby.
Yeah, dude.
Chick-fil-A.
That's a first responder. That's an essential worker.
Yeah.
You guys, we'll see you next week on the internet.
Thanks
I'm Sam
for coming.
Castillo.
I'm JT Kelly.
And
What's up, Jimmy?
this is the Bad News Podcast.
God bless.
Good night and good luck.